All right. Good morning. Thanks for hopping on live, guys. I always appreciate when there is people on here that are on live that like I can talk to. I also love when you turn cameras on, but I totally understand it's a Monday morning. And not everybody wants to do that. I'm going to just make one more setting adjustment here so that we don't have anybody hopping in hot talking. All right. So I was, I always do I do a ton of personal development. So I was doing some reading and some personal development in the last couple of weeks, and this topic kept coming up. And then it's so funny how I got this title, you guys. Sydney a couple of weeks ago was playing music prior to one of our Zooms. It was either mine or hers. And a commercial came on in between the music. And in the commercial, it said, if you want to change the fruits, you have to change the roots. And I was like, ooh, I literally wrote it down so fast. And I was like, I am speaking on that topic. So it is a quote by somebody, and I don't even remember the guy's name. To be honest with you, I probably should have had that on here so I could tell you, but not important at this very moment. So let's think about what that actually means. And then we're going to kind of dig into this a little bit. And it's going to take some self-reflection today. Okay. That's what I like to make people do, is take a look in the mirror. Okay. So let's think about this. What does that really mean? If you want to change the fruits, you're first going to have to change your roots. If you want to change what is visible, you have to change the invisible. And that goes for so many things. We live in this crazy social media world with all these amazing tools out there that we can use to grow ourselves and our business and our online presence. And I came in here with 0 water. I'm so mad at myself. And we work on all these things that are visible, and we forget, or I don't know if we forget, some of those visible things are so fun. It's fun putting on makeup. Well, for some of us, it's fun putting on makeup and doing your hair and taking pictures and posting on social media and doing fun things like that. But it's not as fun for some people to dig deep and take a look inside. And I know I'm seeing Sheila's face on here, and it makes me think of you over the journey you've been on in the last year to 2 years, because I know that it was not easy for you to take that deep look inside. Did I lose Sheila as soon as I just said her name? I feel like I did. I feel like she fell off of here as soon as I said her name. Well, Sheila, I was talking about you. I know that, here she comes. Here she comes. She's rolling back in hot. She's been on a deep journey the last couple of years, and I applaud her for that, because not very many people want to get to their roots. So when we think about the things that you cannot see, the things that are not visible, the things that are internal, is a lot of personal development, our faith and growing in that. Meditation and prayer and your mindset. Those things are not things that people can see on the outside. They are not the juicy, delicious, red, shiny, sweet apple on the apple tree. They are the things that are at the roots. They're what are going to continue to make up our mindset and how we grow as a person, as a human, and in our business world. And a lot of people, especially in the social media age and day, are more concerned with the outward appearance of what things look like to everyone else, but they don't do nearly as much work on the internal stuff, which is actually what produces brighter, shinier, juicier fruit to be posting on social media anyways. It's what will attract more people anyways. So let's take a look at this. And I want you, if you can write. If you can't, please write this down later. I really want you guys to use today as a tool to adjust your sails a little bit. Dig deep, figure out what's going on the inside, what kind of results we've had leading up to this, that maybe we need to adjust some things and do some more deep internal work on the roots so that we can bear more fruits. Okay, so currently where you're sitting right now in your business or your personal life or your marriage or your relationships or anything that you are working on, Maybe it's a job that you're looking for a promotion, a network marketing business you're looking to rank up. Anything, your finances, your health, your wellness journey, anything that you're looking to improve or you've been working on improving. I want you to relate it back to literally an apple tree. And I want you to think about over the last 6 months, year, 2 years, is it producing, or what does your fruit look like? Is it producing the red, shiny apples that you're like, can't wait to take a bite into? Now, if you don't like apples, let's talk about strawberries or something else that's juicy and sweet that grows. Okay. If you don't like anything that grows, we need to check your diet. That's a whole nother conversation. But what do they look like? Are they producing the shiny apples, or are they dull and bitter and unproducing, not producing, not growing enough? You know, I think about an apple tree that's growing in our yard in the springtime, and over the course of the summer, you know, it's growing, it's sprouting its leaves, and then its flowers, and then the fruit starts producing. Are those apples falling off the tree and not actually growing into anything that we would pick ripe and juicy and want to eat? Or are they just blooming like crazy? Now, that's what I want you to relate back to whatever it is that you're working on in your life right now. If you're working on that business that you're trying to rank up in, are you ranking up? Are you bringing on new people? Are you bringing on new customers? Are they happy? Now, if you're bringing on new people, are they ranking up? Are they hitting the bonuses? Are they hitting the goals that they want to hit? Because it's not just about you in that type of business. It's also to have a ripe, producing, juicy apple tree. You have to be helping other people grow too and produce too. So I want you to really take out a pen and piece of paper. And if anybody wants to throw in the chat, in the comments right now, do you feel like your apple tree is producing the type of fruit right now that you want? And if it's a yes, it can be yes too. Okay, I'm getting a whole lot of no's. So my next question is this. Let's take a snapshot of the last 6 to 12 months. What have you been doing over the last 6 to 12 months to improve the way that apple tree is producing, to improve the shininess, to improve the sweetness, to improve the amount that it's producing? What have you been doing, honestly? What types of activities have you been doing to ensure that it produces more? And if it's, I've been consistent on social media, I've been posting a lot, I've been going live, I've been doing, and those are the things, that's okay. I want you to say those are the things that you've been doing. If you've been doing massive internal work, attending masterminds, reading a lot of personal development, maybe you hired a counselor, maybe that's not a bad thing, by the way, guys. Hiring somebody to dig through here so you can get it right and adjust. It doesn't always mean that you have something wrong with you. It might mean that you need somebody else to point some things out that you're not seeing. I don't know, what's this show called? Billions? Is it Billions? It's on, I think, Netflix or HBO, one of those. Has anybody watched Billions? Nobody? Jill, my girl. Okay. The main character, the girl, the psychologist for all the crazy stock traders. Oh my God. That job is would be my dream job. Like if I was going to work in a corporate world, but I also want to hire somebody like her. I was like, but this is a whole nother topic, but seriously, you guys got to go check out Billions and then check out the main girl character in there. She's like a psychologist in office, like corporate staff for all these stock traders who are, bringing in big business. When they get themselves in a funk and stuck in their head, they go sit down in her office and spill out what's happening so that they can readjust their sales and move forward. That's digging deep and getting to the roots. Sometimes we don't do enough of that because we just go out there thinking if we just throw more stuff at the apple tree, out there, that the visible stuff, the stuff that people can see, we will attract more people. And that's actually that's not the right order. So I had to replant my apple tree starting at the roots, still watering mine. I truly believe, Sheila, that is what you were doing. And there might be people that think from the outside, the visible side, that that's a slow journey. But man, are you going to come out swinging when the time is right? And I know it, because you did the right work, the right way. The roots first, the invisible first, the visible will come out later. And it will be more attractive because you worked on all of the roots first. Jill, yes, I know you have been doing a ton of work behind the scenes that a lot of us have not seen. And I'm super excited to see you as well come out swinging. So I want you to really think about that today. You know, okay, totally a little bit off topic, but not. Had a really great booming network marketing business for multitudes of reasons. That has definitely scaled back, right? And in that process, you have to do a little plan, do review, like what are the things that are, you know, this, that, and the other. We had a massive team and it scaled back. And there's some people not really that have jumped and gone to any other company, but have, you know, for whatever reason, gone their own direction. So I read this book maybe a year ago or so, and I've talked about it on some of these, and it's What Got You Here Won't Get You There. It is a top book recommendation from me, because when I read the book and I was going through the whole thing, I was like, oh my God, I broke that rule. Oh my God, I broke that rule. Oh my God, I've done everything wrong in my business for the last 7 years. Like, it was a big wake up call. And I mean, I'm the first one to probably point out my issues and the things that I know that I could do better on. But it was a really great wake up call. Wake up calls are great, but not unless you do something about them, right? Like, figure out what those things were that went wrong so that you don't repeat them on the next journey. But then we've got to figure out how to fix those so that we don't do them again, right? So that's one book recommendation. I'm going to give you another one at the end of this. Don't let me forget. So What Got You Here Won't Get You There. And then there's a new one that I'm reading that's just fabulous that I want to share with everybody. One thing, the reason I brought that up is because one thing that, and I know a few of you that have been around for a long time on that network marketing team will know that you've heard me say this. When we would get frustrated with the apples that we're not producing on our team, on our tree, right? We would literally started chats called Fresh Meat. If you've been in one of those chats, you're well aware of what they were. We literally were looking for this. It sounds terrible. I'm such a transparent person now. I will tell you exactly what I've done so that you don't do the dumb shit that I've done in the past. But we would literally start new chats and talk about how we were on a mission to go find fresh meat, new apples, fresh, shiny, juicy stuff that wanted to do and work the business the way that we wanted them to. But I don't think that we actually ever went to fix the roots until years later, when we realized, you know, like, it wasn't necessarily the new fresh meat that we needed. It was what we were not doing internally to adjust the sales and correct things to attract the new fresh meat that we wanted. And I think that I banged my head up against that brick wall for a very long time. And not until almost very recently have I been able to adjust that mindset for me. But you know what did it? Was the personal development, the constant reading, trying to figure out what I can do and be better at. And that is totally working on the roots, because I do not want to repeat past mistakes or errors. I want to move forward in a way that is going to build from what I've learned. Oh man, I heard on a podcast or a book that I was reading just in this last week. I was on a podcast. It was Dane Cook on the podcast I keep telling everybody about. He was interviewed on the Ed Mylett show. And he talks about the valleys, you know, in your journey along the way, your valleys, and the lessons that you learn in those valleys. And he said because I've literally beat myself up for being in a valley for 3 years. Like, it's been 3 years. I'll tell you a quick story. It's been 3 years. I've been working on digging myself out of that valley, but I want it to move faster. Now I have got it figured out, and it has not shown up visibly yet to anybody else. This is all invisible work. I heard him say this and was like, wow, light bulb moment, Jessica. It's okay to be in those valleys. It's totally okay. And he said, actually, don't speed through those valleys. What most people do is try to speed through those valleys and climb out of them, and they're not ready. And then what happens is you miss all of the lessons on the climb back to the top. And those are the most important lessons you will ever learn in your entire career in business or in any journey that you're trying to go on. It's all the lessons that you learn on the way back up. But everyone is so eager to get on the way back up, they miss all of that. They ignore it, they jump over it, they miss it, and they don't take it with them on the journey back to the top. So they end up repeating the same mistakes and fall back in that valley. I don't want to go back there. I don't know about you, but if you've ever been in a valley, I highly doubt you want to go back in that valley. You just want to climb. And I've tried climbing and I keep hitting it and I fall back in because I'm not learning the lessons, right? But that's all stuff that we have to do to water those roots and to grow new, fresh, juicy fruit on that apple tree. We have to work on the roots to climb back out and come out swinging. And I've seen some people do a really good job at it. And that's why Sheila, I'm so glad that you were on here this morning, because you are a prime example of somebody who I can visibly see you doing it, but it's only because I know what you're doing. And it's a long journey. It's not a short journey, but the short journey isn't going to teach you the lessons. That's what I got out of that podcast. It's almost a 3-year, and let's not call it an anniversary because it was not a fun time. But it's been almost 3 years since I went through something extremely traumatic. My best friend and business partner literally went behind my back almost 3 years ago and tore me to shreds. I'm very transparent about that now. I've kind of hid it. I've kind of talked about it, kind of danced around it. It brutally disrupted my life and my mindset. When someone that close to you can take you up, like off your complete trajectory and pull you completely off of your path of success because it was so brutal, it screwed me. It's been a very long journey. I mean, I can compare it to, I got divorced when I was 30 something too. That was brutal. That was definitely brutal. This was worse. It was way worse. It did a way worse mental pitfall on me than that. And it's taken me almost 3 years to get out of that. Those are the kinds of things, though, that will never freaking happen again in my life. Because during those 3 years, I did a ton of work on my roots. It will never happen to me again. Will I make myself a closed off, cold person and not let best friends in and business? No, I've learned, because I took the time to deal with how you deal with that, and then grow brand new, juicy, red, delicious fruit from it. And I've grown so much as a human internally because of going through that. And if I wouldn't have gone through that, I would have never grown from it. So I have to be thankful for it in a certain aspect. And that is things I had to learn. I was bitter for a good 1.5 years of that, maybe 2 whole years. I was bitter. And then you have to grow through it to get out of it. I tried climbing out of it the wrong way, like 60 million times, because I didn't work on the roots. I just fell right back into the bitter hole. So we have to do the work on the roots before we can ever change those fruits. So if you find yourself continuously hitting your head up against that brick wall and falling back in, it's time to go actually pay attention to what needs to happen internally, the invisible stuff, the stuff that people cannot see. You got to go work on it. So a little bit of second level, if your fruits are shriveled up, dried, bruised, not looking good, looking a little poorly, not producing, what are you going to do? What are you doing? Is there some personal development that can happen? What is the plan? If you're one of your biggest goals, I'll just throw this one in here because I know it's a big one for network marketers and most of us on here. If you've been trying to rank up or hit a specific goal or bonus or achievement in your company, how long, my question is, how long have you been at that? And you don't have to tell me what it is, but if you'd put it in the chat, like how long have you been at that? How long have you been trying to hit that next level, that next rank, that next bonus, that one big, hairy, scary thing that you keep putting out there, the next thing? How long have you been at it? Too damn long. 2 years, 2 years, too damn long. 3 years. Okay, guys, when is enough of our own bullshit? Man, I've said the shit word a few times this morning. I'm so sorry. When is enough enough? When are you going to go dig down deep and figure out what we have to do to change it? Because in network marketing, there are people crushing it. There are people getting to the next rank. There are people blowing by you. What are they doing different? And it is not because they go live more, they're on Instagram more, or they show up more on social media. That's not it. It's not. I mean, some of those things are going to come from, you know, watering your roots and fertilizing and doing all of those things because you're learning how to show up in different ways or better. Of course, there's things you need to learn along that journey where you're going to find your target audience. But I will almost guarantee you 99% of the time, it's something else in those roots that is not fixed yet, that we've got to get fixed. Because here's the deal. To get to that next rank or goal, what is it that you need to do? Like I'm saying, like you have to recruit so many more people. You have to bring in X amount more sales, which means more people, right? Like that's the overall what you have to do to get to that. So let's think about this in an apple tree scenario. Where you're in an apple orchard. Sorry for the reference to apples. It's just the easiest thing to do. But you're in an apple orchard and you're walking by and you're like, man, that tree looks good. It's got all kinds of juicy, fruity apples on there. Ew, that one looks bad. It's got all bruised and nasty looking apples. Which one are you going to pick from and eat? It's the same thing on your social media. I've made the mistakes, so I know. You can't go out there putting all kinds of garbage out there because you're not going to attract what you want. If your goal, if you know to get to that next rank, it means I need to recruit more leaders onto my team and or I need to empower more current leaders to take the leadership role on my team, right? But what are you doing? What kind of example are you showing? What are you emulating? Because you are going to attract what you are putting out there. So if you keep putting out there all of the laundry, or you don't show up on social media as this bright, bubbly, fun, energetic leadership mentality person, I've said this 1,000 times. If I was ever to go and decide to join a new network marketing company, I might just go right after the CEO and join him. Sorry, I had to say it. No, but I would not go after the person who's barely showing up on social media or they're just a customer getter. I need someone who's going to coach me, train me, push me, shove me, lead me, teach me, inspire me. Is that what you're doing? I want you to ask yourself that. Or are you just a customer getter out there going live, talking about your products, going in your stories, talking about your products? I mean, that's all great, you guys, but I'm telling you, the me's of the world, the 1%ers in network marketing, the 7-figure earners, the top of the company, the top ranks, if they're ever going to come and join you or somebody with that mentality, you got to give them something to join. You got to give them something to want to be a part of. You got to be the person that you're trying to be. If you want that role, you have to be that, because in order to attract more of it, you got to show up like that. And maybe you don't use social media as your building blocks. That's okay. You somehow have to portray to the people you are trying to bring into your business that is the type of person that they want to join, because the people that you're going to bring in people who are glorified customers. Maybe want to get their product for free. They maybe want to make a little bit of money. They enjoy whatever product or service you're providing, but they're probably not going to go out and get a whole lot of people. You're going to attract a bunch of those. Out of the bunch of those, if you're a good enough leader, an inspiring enough leader, you have your SHIT together and they can see it, they may just emerge into a really great leader on your team that ends up going to get more shiny apples. But most of the time, that group of people probably isn't going to. And they definitely aren't going to merge into that if you haven't become that to show them the way, to attract them to be like you, to do the things you're doing. On the other side of that, you're going to have the other group of people that you want to recruit, which is what everybody hopes for in network marketing. Let me just go recruit one rock star and it will build my business for me. You're not going to recruit that person unless you're being that person and you are that person. The smart network marketer out there looking for a new opportunity, the smart business builder out there that's out there looking for a network marketing opportunity to jump on board, they're looking for somebody who is going to take them to the top 1%. If you're not in the top 1%, I'm not joining you. Not. I'm just being honest with you guys because I want you to rip the Band-Aid off, rip the social media blindfold off, and start doing the work that's invisible that no one can see so that you can come out swinging and running to the top. So what do you need to do to take this to the next level? What kind of holes do you need to climb out of? I told you about mine. It was hard. It was a battle. It was a journey. It is a lesson, life lesson I will never regret though, because like I said, it's made me a much stronger person because of it. And so you guys all probably have things like that in your background that are holding you back that we just need to get through. You got to do the personal development. You got to do the invisible work to get through them. And maybe it's not anything like crazy like that, but maybe it's just, we've been going at this for 2 years or too long or 3 years, and we are not getting to where we want to go. It is not because you're not posting enough on social media. I'm going to say that again. That might be one thing if you're not staying consistent. If you are also staying consistent on social media and you've been at it for 2 years and you're not getting to the next place, plan, do, freaking review, you guys. Plan, freaking do, freaking review. It's not working. Figure out what's working. Figure out what other people are doing that is working. Don't keep bashing your head up against a wall for another 2 years. Okay? Please, it is one of my favorite sayings, plan, do, review. I'm not saying don't do it for 6 months. If you haven't been at it for 6 months trying something really brand new, keep going. It might take some time. But 2 years and you're not leveling up, figure out why. What do we need to do? What kind of internal work do we need to do? And then I want you to go and make a plan for it. I mean, a real plan. What are you going to do? Who are you going to call? What's the next book you're going to read? Who are you going to ask for accountability from? What kind of new tasks can you start doing on a daily basis that are going to get you to the next level? Unless you're just comfortable where you're at. Like some of you might just be comfortable where you're at. You're like, I'm good. I'm getting this paid for and this X amount of money is coming in on a monthly basis from this little side gig. And I'm comfortable with that. And I just want to maintain it. I'm not talking to you. Keep doing what you're doing. You're staying on an even playing field. You're staying where you're at. You're treading water and you're comfortable with that by all means. But that's not who I'm talking to. So I want you to create a plan of action. If you want me to review that plan of action, send it to me. Don't waste my time in Messenger. However, if you actually put a plan of action together and you want me to review it, I am happy to do it. Send me a note in Messenger and say, hey, here, I heard you this morning. I heard you this Monday. I watched this on a recording and heard you. Here's my plan. I put it together. Can you review it and tell me if I'm on the right path? I would be happy to. We can work on it together. I am not perfect. I don't have all the answers, but I sure do know that if I didn't stop and start spending some massive time on the roots, I wasn't climbing out of that hole. I wasn't going to get to the next level. I wasn't going to move forward. And I wasn't going to reach my goals. Have you ever heard that saying? If the I don't know if it's, I'm not saying this exactly right, but if the goal, if you haven't met the goal, if the goal isn't working, don't change the goal, change the route to get there. So let's go back and figure out what we can change so that we can still get to that goal. I have a goal of in 2.5 years, when my son graduates from college. Holy moly, did I just fast forward his life? Sorry, Luke. When he graduates from high school, I want to be able to say we've got our down payment, or we've bought our property, or we have our house in Florida, and we are now going to be the snowbirds that we've always wanted to be. That's 2.5 years from now. That has been the goal for the last 10 years. I'm not there yet. We took a little nosedive for a little bit. 3 years ago, life just smacked me around. And it's taken me some time to dig out of that. I thought we would be there by now, so that in 2.5 years, when he graduates from high school, we were well on our way to hitting that goal. That goal hasn't changed, not once in this whole entire time. But I will tell you what, the path to getting there has definitely shifted. Because the goal ain't changing. I still want that. So I'm sure that's the same for you guys. I hope that I was able to wake you up this morning on a Monday morning. I want to see you guys all create a plan to dig out of this stuckness that you might be in. If you're not stuck and you're moving forward and you're absolutely crushing your game, hats off to you. Share with us in the group. Tell us what you're doing that's helping you crush it and keep ranking up and keep leveling up and keep it going on to the next level. Share with us. We all want to learn from each other, right? That's why it's an accountability group. We will see you back here on Wednesday morning with Sydney. I know that her title is like grow or something like that, right? So it's like on the same trajectory, I'm certain. But she always puts her social media splash in there. So hop on Wednesday morning, and I will see you guys next Monday. I already got a topic picked out, so you're going to want to be back. Oh, one book. Stop, pause, hang on. There was one more book. Eric Thomas's new book. If you haven't heard me say this yet, UOU. Download the freaking book. If you want a free like intro to it, go to the Ed Mylett show, listen to the interview where he interviews Eric Thomas. It's one of the most recent ones. Then you decide if you want the book. UOU, because you do. Okay. I'm halfway through the book. It is so flipping good. And I mean, I might be partial to it because he's a Detroit boy, but it's fun to listen to. Have a great week, guys.